I'm noticing this trend happening in relationships, especially when it involves people we're attracted to. And I'm really sad that I'm seeing it in so many different relationships. I see it happen a lot in my sessions too. And I really feel like we need to talk about this. What am I talking about? People being drama llamas in their relationships. What I'm seeing a lot is when somebody puts a boundary up saying, hey, that's not okay. Especially if they're in a relationship with someone or want to be in a relationship with someone, they treat it like it's the worst possible thing to happen. And what I notice is that when people start thinking like that, they start to think the relationship's not repairable and they run away. That's the worst possible thing you could be doing. Worst! If I had $1 for every single time I put up a boundary with a client and they shut down and thought that meant that they couldn't see me anymore, I probably wouldn't have to work, honestly. Which is a problem, because if they're doing that in a session, they're probably doing that in other relationships too. I feel like we give our friendships or buddies like way more leeway when things go wrong than we do with relationships or any romantic or sexual relationships. Why? Relationships need trust and honesty just like a friendship does. And when that gets broken, we need to talk about it. Throwing it under the rug and ignoring it or trying to hide it, if you bought flowers for somebody to avoid talking about something or chocolates, that doesn't necessarily get you off the hook. You still need to talk about it. I think the instinct is to step away from pain that we may cause someone, especially if there's a sexual or romantic charge to that relationship. Which, by the way, why do we treat people like they're disposable for like the most vulnerable relationships we could possibly have? It's really easy to not talk about it, or guilt trip yourself, or say we're sorry and then just try to walk on eggshells around the person. But that doesn't solve the problem for anybody, probably makes it worse. So that's not a good solution. What do we do instead then? I might be a weirdo by saying this, but here's how I would handle it. Try to recognize what's actually happening in you and say that. If you legit want to stay in the relationship, just say, I want to run away from this, but I want to have a better relationship with you, and I don't know how to be in a relationship with you knowing that I hurt you before. Saying that and meaning that, that's really beautiful, honestly. And if you're on the end of being hurt, instead of trying to run away and heal your wounds by yourself, which is still important, when you feel like you have the ability to do so, I love this sentence stem that I learned from Peter Benjamin of the Connection Institute. When you did factual thing that can't be argued, I felt what you actually felt. Can we talk about that? I love this because you're starting off with something that happened that you both agree happened, and then you're going to how you felt about it so they understand what happened on your end. They might not actually know. Assuming that they do know is a really big, bold thing to do, and not everybody actually understands what they're doing. I think we often skip a few steps when we ignore that part and we just go to the part that person hurt me and I can't forgive them, instead of trying to go for, this is what happened and this is how I felt. Clarification. If this is a relationship where they're not willing to listen at all, that's usually a really bad relationship. I'm talking about people that are somewhat reasonable and not manipulative. That might be hard to identify. Please do your research on that if you think you might be in that. So the next time you're feeling really awful because you got hurt, try that. And the next time somebody expresses that you may have hurt them, try leaning into it instead of shutting down. These are not easy to do. They're really hard. It took me forever to feel comfortable doing this. In fact, I'll admit it. I got really hurt when I really tried to do this very explicitly over and over and over with someone that was hurting me and he didn't know it. But it also clears so much air, gives you so much clarity on what's going on, and you can make a good judgment on how to move forward when you try to express yourself in the face of this kind of problem. We don't need to escalate this to dramatic levels every time because of something like this. Worst possible thing! And there may be things that do need to be escalated, and that's okay too. But for the purpose of this exercise, if these are day-to-day things and nuances and annoyances or things that just piss you off, try this. See how that might impact your life. I think it will do a good job with helping your relationships. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Share it with a friend that you think might benefit from it. And if you haven't heard it today, I care and appreciate every single one of you. Bye for now. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, blast it off the rooftops, shout